Doug Viverka, brother of Staff Sergeant David Viverka. For 2004, Bert Kephart, father of Specialist Jonathan Kephart. For 2005, Josh Peterson, friend of First Lieutenant Aaron Cison. For 2006, Denise Culbertson, mom of Corporal Russell Culbertson. For 2007, Nate Summers, Iraq veteran from the Marines. And for 2008, Don Clayton.
Names from 2003. Private First Class James R. Dillon Jr. Captain Christopher S. Seaford. Lance Corporal Joseph B. Magdaleone III. Specialist Donald S. Oakes. Captain Tristan N. Aiken. Staff Sergeant Stephen Booker. Specialist Zachariah W. Long. Specialist Michael T. Gleason. Staff Sergeant Michael Dooley. First Sergeant Christopher D. Coffin. Private First Class Corey L. Small. Sergeant Chad Keith. Sergeant Jeror C. Puello Coronado. Specialist William J. Marr III. Private First Class Timothy R. Brown Jr. Specialist Craig S. Ivory. Specialist Eric R. Hall. Lieutenant Colonel Anthony L. Sherman. Captain Brian R. Fonts. Specialist Raphael L. Navia. Sergeant Andrew J. Baddock. Staff Sergeant Christopher E. Cottrell. Specialist Tamara J. Ramos. Specialist Douglas J. Wisemantle. First Lieutenant David R. Bernstein. Staff Sergeant Paul A. Sweeney. Specialist Maurice J. Johnson. Staff Sergeant Ernest G. Buckloop. Sergeant Nicholas A. Tomko. Sergeant Joseph Minucci II. Sergeant Timothy L. Hazlett. Staff Sergeant Kimberly A. Fools.
I came across a very timely article in the newspaper this week, and I wanted to read that to you. It says, was this a proper tribute? Over the past Memorial Day period, there were many accolades, a few out of obligation, but the majority of a most sincere and grateful nature, given to all those who have given their lives to protect the freedom we enjoy in this country. With rare exception, they tried to exemplify the value of the efforts of those who have fallen. The words of Lincoln, in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground, leads me to a question I believe can be asked of us concerning these memorials. Do all these deeply sincere and recent attempts really pay proper tribute to these fallen heroes? I'm not sure I know the intent of what this lady was saying as she wrote this article, but I would like to answer her question as a family member of those who have lost loved ones in the current war on terrorism. No, we can never pay proper tribute to our fallen heroes. But I do believe with all my heart that what we do here today is right. And I believe with all my heart that it's about honor that they have deserved. I want to read just a stanza here, in honor to serve. He was just a young man, she was just a young lady. When he first heard the call, when she first heard the call, come and join in the battle, come and give us your all. And he rose up to follow, she rose up to follow. leaving all else behind, and he and she joined in this song when he and she reached the front lines. It is an honor to serve, to join in the fight, to lift up my voice, and to lay down my life, giving glory to God, seeking none in return. It is an honor to serve. And may I say to you today that what we do here today is all about honor that is deserved. I'm going to read the names of those who died in 2004. Specialist Christopher Colby, Specialist William Sturgis, Specialist Clint Matthews, Specialist Sean Mitchell, Lance Corporal Eric Barr, Specialist Sean Davies, Specialist Edward Brabazin, Specialist Jonathan Kephart, Staff Sergeant Edward Carmen, Specialist Matthew Sandry, Staff Sergeant Sherwood Baker, Specialist Matron Condor, Gunnery Sergeant Ronald Baum, Private First Class Bradley Kritzer, Specialist Mark Kasecki, Specialist Carl Curran II, Staff Sergeant Jeremy Horton, Private Brady Coleman, Corporal John Todd III, Staff Sergeant Stephen Booker, Staff Sergeant Dale Lloyd, Specialist Nicholas Zangara, Lance Corporal Nicholas Morrison, First Lieutenant Neil Santarella, Corporal Barton Humhohans, Sergeant Brandon Adams, Specialist Joshua Henry, Specialist Clifford Moxley, Specialist Gregory Cox, Specialist Rodney Jones, Staff Sergeant Andrew Brown, Private First Class Aaron Russin, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Phelan, Staff Sergeant Lonnie Wells, Staff Sergeant Sean Huey, Staff Sergeant Joseph Nolan, Corporal Michael Cohen, Corporal Kyle Renahan, Sergeant First Class Paul Karpowicz. What we do here today is all about honor. And as a family member who has had a loved one lost in a war on terrorism, may I say to you, when I leave here and I go home, many, many times throughout this next year, as has happened in the last year, I will remember this day in times when it is very painful, when there are those of you who came to pay honor to our fallen and to show your love and support for those of us who have lost a hero.
The fallen from 2005. Specialist Michael J. Smith, Sergeant Brett D. Swank, Corporal Kyle J. Grimes, Lance Corporal Saeed Torshizi, Private Landon S. Giles,